Welcome to day 4 of the Signature System Blueprint Challenge. Today is one of the most important days in this entire challenge because today we are moving from strategy to scalability. Over the last few days, you have created your signature system, you've mapped out your business architecture, and you've gotten clear on your messaging and your positioning. But none of this truly scales until systems begin doing the repetitive work for you. Today, we'll be talking about automation, not complicated tech, not overwhelming systems, but simple automations that can help your business run smoother, faster, and more consistently. So today's focus is the automation stack. So we'll be taking a look at how AI and AI agents can eliminate the manual work that you're doing in your business. And what I really want you to understand is this, that automation is not about replacing you. Automation is about protecting your time, your energy, and your capacity so you can focus on the work that really truly matters in your business. This is how businesses scale without founders burning out. So today we'll be covering 3 things. The first thing we're going to cover is the philosophy behind the automation, because most people automate the wrong things. Second, we're going to dive into the automation stack. So we'll take a look at what systems you really need inside your business to have a business that grows and scales over time. And then we're going to be diving into the roadmap. So you're going to walk away with a phase that you can plug into. So, in day 4, we're going to be diving into showing you all of the moving parts and how they connect together. We're going to be taking a look at your lead capture system, the CRM or client relationship management system, and email automations that you want to have set up in your business, booking workflows, content systems, client onboarding, and finally, analytics and reporting. So, this is the infrastructure behind modern scalable businesses. And the beautiful thing is that most of this can be automated for you, running your business on autopilot. Today is about removing the friction. Most founders are manually doing work that technology can do in seconds, and that creates bottlenecks. You become the very person every process depends on, and that's exhausting and that limits your growth. So let's quickly recap of where we have been over the past 3 days leading up to day 4. Day 1, you built your signature system. So you extracted your unique method, your signature methodology, your signature system. This is where we extracted your expertise out of your brain and got it out on paper or on a Word doc or Google Doc so we could start understanding what that expertise is that we can then monetize. Day 2, you mapped out your operating system. So we looked at the internal structure of your business from a lead becoming aware of you all the way to having raving fans, because the transformation that you have gone through with the client has literally transformed their life. And now you have raving fans in your business that become your best marketing, your best referral sources. And we dove into your messaging on day 3. So this is where we got really clear about your ideal client and your messaging that will be used in your marketing. So today we're going to talk about how to make that all scale. And before we dive into this lesson for today, I'm just uploaded so each day. So let's start talking about the big problem. Most businesses, business owners accidentally become bottlenecks in your business. Everything depends on them. Every email, every follow-up, every onboarding step, every social media post, every reminder, just every single thing relies on you to be able to do it. And eventually that growth becomes exhausting because the business can only grow as fast as the founder can personally keep up. Let me know if you can relate to that. I know I certainly felt that way before I really started learning about automation and how I could make automation work for me and in my business and help me to be able to scale faster. So if you are the system, the business breaks every time you step away. You can probably identify with that too. Like every time you want to take off early or you go on vacation or maybe just a long weekend, like as soon as you let your foot off the gas, like everything just slows down. And that becomes a big problem. And that is the real issue here that automation solves for you. The difference between burnout and scalability is systems. Burnout happens when everything is manual, growth creates stress, Capacity is limited by time, so you really can't take on more work because there's not any more hours in the day to be able to do this. Scalability happens when systems handle all of that daily repetitive work. When the capacity expands with the automation. So the more you automate, the more you can take on in your business because you have had that time freed up that you were spending doing everything manually in the past. The growth creates more freedom for you, and the business runs while you sleep. Automation is not becoming robotic, it's about removing friction. When repetitive tasks happen automatically, you save time, you improve your consistency, you respond faster, and you scale more smoothly. When you're able to grow your client base without growing your stress. The goal is not to remove humans from your business, and I know that is a fear for a lot of people thinking that AI is eliminating jobs, and in a lot of ways it is eliminating jobs, but it's also opening up a lot more opportunity. The goal is to remove repetitive manual work from your business. The best businesses feel deeply personal, but they automate the operational task happening behind the scenes. And this allows the founders to stay focused on what really matters. And that is on relationships, on strategy, on creativity and vision and high level decision making. Here's a principle I want you to remember: automate the repeatable, personalize the important. If something happens the same way every time, automate it. If it requires judgment, empathy, creativity, or relationship, then keep it personal. The principle alone will help you to be able to make smarter decisions forever. So automate what is repetitive and what doesn't require your judgment, your empathy, your creativity, or your relationships. Now, what to automate? So, these high leverage areas are where automation delivers immediate return on investment. Each one currently costs you time, which creates inconsistency and simply just falls through the cracks. So, systematizing these frees you to be able to focus on high value, high touch work. So, this becomes things like lead capture, having a way to be able to create a lead magnet, a snippet of your signature system that you can create a lead magnet with and automatically capture people and bring them into your ecosystem. Then you can follow up with them with emails. So having a sequence of emails that automatically go out, they're drip fed over a course of time to follow up with your leads, to continue to nurture them and build authority with them and build trust. It also provides a way to be able to have a scheduling system so your leads can or clients can automatically book in sessions with you without you manually going back and forth in the DMs, trying to find a time that works for both of you and sending them the link. This is automatically done. It also covers automatic client onboarding. So once that client says yes and pays you money for your products and services, the onboarding just happens instantly and it's automatic, and it provides a raving red carpet experience for your clients because each and every one get that same onboarding experience. It also provides payment reminders, so you can have payment reminder automation emails and messages going out to your clients to remind them of their upcoming payments. Also, content scheduling. So, this is where you can have this one system to be able to handle everything, an all in one business solution. And that's what I've created with Scale Logic HQ. We are built on a high level platform, and everything here that you need for your business is all in one place. So, that alone saves you time and saves you money from not having to have multiple pieces of software to run your business. And finally, reporting. It also gives you all of the reporting for your business so you know every step along the way, from your lead capture to your follow-up emails to your scheduling system, your client onboarding, the payment reminders, content scheduling, your courses, your services. You can tell who's consuming what, how much they're consuming, what is working and what isn't working, and what to be able to improve along the way, all through automation. What not to automate? So there are things that should not run on autopilot in your business. The highest impact moments in your business, the ones that actually build trust and close deals and transform clients, require real human presence. Automating these areas doesn't save time, it actually destroys relationships. So anything that is relationship driven, that requires genuine connections that build long term loyal fans and referrals, you do not want to automate that. High value strategies. So thinking, planning, decision making that only you can provide, that is not something you want to automate. Creative direction. So anything that requires your unique perspective, vision, and brand voice. And then also emotional conversations. So those sensitive client moments that actually require empathy or compassion and your presence, that's not something to automate. And finally, high stake sales. So premium offers that require conversations such as one-on-one calls, strategy calls, etc. This is where you don't want to automate because you can really automate all the way through to having AI actually doing your outbound and inbound sales calls. So you don't want to automate those particular things. So those are things like we have high value tasks and we have other things that are definitely important in your business, but not requiring your face, your voice, your presence that we can automate. When automation is implemented properly, the results of this are incredible. One, you work less because you spend your time on high value activities, not the admin task, the task that you would typically assign to a VA or another member on your team. You deliver faster because automated systems respond instantly, no delays, no missteps. And you can think about that in your virtual experience today of where you're purchasing things online. They are automatically delivered to your inbox, delivered to your front door. Automation is just an incredible thing that we have to take advantage of in this day and age. You scale smoother. You are able to add clients and revenue without adding proportional stress because you're not having to manually one by one onboard new students and manage that whole process. So therefore, you're able to serve more people and expand your impact without expanding your hours. By the end of today, you are going to be able to have your automation priorities. So you're going to have a ranked list of the highest leverage tasks to automate first in your business. You're going to have that first workflow map, so a clear visual map of your first automated sequence from trigger to outcome. So what is the trigger event that fires off that automation and what is the outcome? What are we delivering? What is happening? What's the result of that particular automation? And then you have a 30, 60, 90-day roadmap built out for you. So this is a phased plan for you that builds your automation stack one layer at a time, one system at a time. And you have a scalable implementation plan. So a realistic execution strategy that you can begin this week. Let me know if you're excited to be able to understand what systems that you can implement in your business to help you work smarter and not harder. Let me know. Give me a one down in the chat. So let's take a look closer at the automation stack itself. A complete business automation stack isn't a single tool, it's a connected ecosystem. We've talked a lot about this ecosystem during this 5-day challenge. This ecosystem handles a specific function. So each part plays a critical role in your business, but they all work together. And together they can eliminate manual gaps that slow your business from the look at the client journey all the way through to onboarding and to you're getting results. This is what it's going to look like and what we're building your business and teach you how to implement in your business. And if it's not something you want to do, you can hire me and my team to be able to implement this for you. But it all starts with having a lead capture. So we've talked about the point A to point B, where your clients are before working with you and where they are after working with you. So if you can imagine that imaginary line here of that ideal client of where they are before even becoming aware of you. And then they become aware of you. Maybe they've stumbled across some kind of post on social media or maybe a Facebook ad or something like that. And it's offering a free lead magnet or a free goodie, right? It's your cookie of trying to give out those samples, those taste testers. Or if you're thinking about a restaurant, what are those taste testers, appetizers that they're handing out? You can think about being in the mall. They have those samples of here, try it before you buy. Have a taste test. That's what your lead magnet is doing. It's a snippet of your signature system that is a taster of what's to come. So you have a way to be able to capture that lead. So what happens behind the scenes is once that lead opts in, they say yes, they click on the button to be able to get that particular lead magnet that you're offering. They are completing a form. So if you can remember how you came into the Signature System Blueprint Challenge with me, is that you completed a form. You either stumbled on an ad or you stumbled on a piece of social media content, or maybe you came through the Go Collab community environment, but once you got to that, there was a form that you had to complete. And that's what we call a landing page. And essentially, that landing page is a page that lives on the internet and it has a form attached to it that you would then input your data. What we typically ask for is the person's first name and for their email address in exchange for that freebie. So those two, the form and the landing page, they actually capture the data. From there, that name and that email address then goes immediately into what we call a CRM or a client relationship management system. So in Scale Logic HQ, we have every piece of this in this all-in-one platform solution for you that once we gather the lead, a lead card is automatically created for the particular contact. So we gather all of the contact information. The contact is then stored in the system. And then based on what we have built in our automation, we can also add in that particular workflow that an opportunity card is created and it goes into basically your sales pipeline. So you can see at any given moment, and we'll get more behind the scenes so you can actually see this in motion. We'll be bringing you that training in the 5-day challenge as well. So stay tuned for that. But imagine with me, you can think of yourself like when you've opted in for something, that's what happens is this email. And the hard way around this was that you were just collecting the leads and you didn't have a system in place. And maybe you were manually gathering them on a Google sheet and then manually adding them to your email service provider. You don't have to do that anymore. It's automatically done through Scale Logic HQ. Once a lead puts in their name and their email address, we automatically have captured those on that form and that landing page, and then automatically goes in and creates a contact for the lead. And then the management pieces and the tagging, we do those through the workflows or through what we call automation, to where we create different tags that we tag it and say, yes, I want this lead to have an opportunity card created and it goes into your sales pipeline. And then you can also tag it with things like mailing list and areas of interest for the client and so forth. So that's what all of that happens in the email automation. This happens in seconds. It's so fast how quickly all this happens. But they enter into the email automation that you build. And as we talked through the challenge, I've mentioned that you have a welcome sequence and you've mapped that out on day 2. You were mapping out what your welcome sequence would look like, how many emails would be included in that particular welcome sequence, where the first email is delivering that freebie that you promised back here that captured, that was the bait on the hook, essentially, that the lead wanted the bait, right? So you have then captured them and now they've gone automatically in this email sequence. And we have triggers that basically say, okay, when this contact here fills out this form, we want you to then send this series of emails. These emails start with the welcome email where we deliver the freebie, but then it goes on into other emails that further nurture the client, that educate them about you, about the problems that they have, about your solution to those problems, and how then we move into the sales piece of it and then how they can continue to work with you. Also, we have automated booking systems. So perhaps, especially if it's a higher ticket item, you may want to have a sales call or you may want to have a strategy call with your lead. So these calendar bookings we set up in advance. You set them up one time and then you just put the link inside of the email. And then the client can then, or the lead can then just click on the link and they can book in their spot with you. So all of that then becomes automated, as well as the confirmations that go out with those call bookings. So once they've booked in, it gives them the email that goes out that confirms their booking time with you, also sends reminders up until the call point. So you have a better chance of having a high show up rate for the lead remembering the call and showing up with you, as well as following up with the lead after the call. Then we have content automation. So this is automation is built right into Scale Logic HQ, where you can pre-build all of your content and using AI as well. So you can use the AI agent in the Scale Logic HQ to be able to create your content and schedule your content for you. So this is where you can really get ahead. You can create a ton of content in a short amount of time, as well as the graphics. You can use the AI agents as well to help you create the graphics and get all of your content scheduled in advance. So maybe you're booking or scheduling your content 30 days in advance, and you can do that on all multiple platforms. So depending on what platform you're on. You could be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, all of those various systems, Google Business Profile. You can schedule to that all through the content automation tab. Then you move on to client onboarding. So this is where once that client gets books in with you and they get this series of emails, one of those emails are going to onboard the client. So it's going to take them directly to the online portal where your online course or coaching or service is stored. So where you've created that destination for them to go to be able to get the deliverables. So it's going to have that. It's going to take all of the intake and the welcome workflows that you set up that automatically onboard them seamlessly. So you had your lead magnet welcome sequence, then you made the sale, and now we have another automation that delivers all of this for you. So you set it up once and everything happens automatically behind the scenes and continues again. However, we have the workflow set up for you. You can drip feed the content if you want to drip feed it out or unlock access to all of the material in your courses and your resources in your service, depending on what you have. It can all go out through these welcome workflows, as well as we set up automations that continue to follow up with your clients over time. So we check in on their progress, remind them, yeah, like maybe here's where you should be at. Maybe you should be at module 3 inside your course, checking in to see how it's going, reminding you that it's there, that type of thing. So you can automate all of that, continuing to have that red carpet experience with your client through the entire journey. And as well, all of the reporting and the analytics. So you've got your dashboard. You can see at a glance everything, how much revenue you're generating in your business, how many leads you have in your business, where your leads are, and the stages that they're in, from all the way from becoming a lead all the way to booking into your products and services. You can track every step along the way where all these leads are through this particular dashboard. You can also track your metrics. So looking to see how each one of these pieces in your ecosystem here are operating and be able to make sound business decisions and determine what's working, what's not working, and what to continue to adjust along the way. So diving into a bit more with lead capture, every automation starts with this lead capture, thinking about that experience of the taste tester. It's the moment where a potential client raises their hand. They are interested in what you are putting in front of them. This is your system's front door. This question that most business owners have actually is never answered. What happens next? Automatically. So when someone opts in, this is where your system should immediately be delivering that value and moving them forward one step at a time without you lifting another finger. And having this really helps you from dropping the ball and from losing opportunities because you have missed a step. So here is a simple lead form capture workflow here. When someone lands on, it's just a page on the internet that you have built that has this form attached to it. So once they complete that form, they provide their name and their email address. It automatically goes again to your CRM, your client relationship management tool. It's tagged, it's scored. We have ways that we can score them by assigning point values to the particular services, particular steps that your lead has taken inside the business, whether they've watched a course, whether they have opened a freebie, whether they have engaged in a community. All of these can have different scoring. So we can really understand who your hot leads are and who your highest value clients are within your system, and be able to do some neat things with people in your system based on the scoring and tagging that you're doing. To recap here, we have submitted the form. They've gone in to become a client or a contact in your system, in your client relationship management tool. They've been tagged, they've been scored, and now the automation sends the welcome email. And in that welcome email, it automatically too gives them all the links to be able to access everything. But we also automatically grant access to all of the products and services that the lead should have access to. So again, whether they're a lead or now they've become a client, you then have access automatically granted. So you're not having to go in and manually give them access to your course or your coaching program or your community. It's all automated. The follow-up is automated. The entire sequence runs automatically 24/7, ensuring that no lead ever falls through the cracks, regardless of where they opt in at.